Imagine a world where the Fellowship failed, where the One Ring returned to the hand of its true master. But what exactly was Sauron's endgame? What would Middle-earth have become under his iron rule? To understand Sauron's ultimate plan, we must first uncover the dark ambitions that drove him.
One ring to rule them all.
Sauron forged the One Ring with a singular purpose: dominion. Through it, he intended to control the wielders of the other rings of power. The 3 crafted by Celebrimbor for the elves, the 7 for the dwarves, and the 9 for men. While his influence over the elves was resisted and the dwarves proved stubborn, men were easily corrupted. With the ring back in his possession, Sauron's power would be fully restored, amplifying his control over all creatures of Middle-earth. But the ring was more than a tool for manipulation. It contained a significant part of Sauron's own essence. Its return would not just strengthen him, it would make him nearly unstoppable. This would elevate him beyond even the dark majesty he held during the Second Age, when he ruled from the blackened spires of Barad-dûr. In The Lord of the Rings, we see glimpses of the ring's influence over individuals, from Boromir's madness to Frodo's struggles, and most importantly, Gollum's complete enslavement. Now, imagine Sauron's mind linked directly to this power. His will would pierce the hearts and minds of all, with nothing capable of resisting him.
They called him Sauron.
So, what was his ultimate plan? Simply put, to conquer and dominate all of Middle-earth. His first move would be to utterly destroy his enemies. Gondor would be his primary target, the last major bastion of resistance in the west. Once Minas Tirith fell, the rest of Middle-earth would stand little chance. However, the conquest of Gondor was only the beginning. Sauron's ambitions stretched far beyond the White City. He would have turned his gaze to Rohan, ensuring the destruction of any potential alliances that could rise against him. The great forests of Lothlorien and Mirkwood would be scoured by fire, their beauty defiled and their inhabitants driven out or enslaved. With the ring, Sauron's power would be absolute. Not only would his armies swell with orcs, trolls, and corrupted men, but he would have the power to subjugate powerful beings who previously opposed him, including wizards, elves, and even the dwarves of Erebor. The ring would enhance his ability to twist and dominate minds, forcing even the purest of hearts to bow before him. It is important to note that Sauron's strategy was not limited to brute force. His strength lay in his ability to corrupt and manipulate. The films show Saruman, Denethor, and even Frodo being tempted by despair and madness. Sauron's goal was to break their spirits before crushing their bodies. Under Sauron's rule, Middle-earth would be transformed into a realm of terror and slavery. Fertile lands would be scorched, cities reduced to ash, and all free peoples would either bow to him or be destroyed. As a Maia, one of the powerful Ainur, Sauron's dominion was not just about physical conquest, it was about spiritual domination, reshaping the world to mirror his own malice. The elves would either flee, submit, or be hunted to extinction. Their beautiful realms would be replaced by nightmarish wastelands. The dwarves, so resilient against Sauron's influence before, would eventually be crushed by his sheer power, their minds seized, and their treasures corrupted. And men? Those who opposed him would fall, while the rest would serve as his slaves, their wills broken by the ring's corrupting power. But Sauron's domination extended beyond mere warfare. He intended to remake Middle-earth in his own image. What once was green and fair would become twisted and foul. But there was a reason Sauron craved the ring so desperately. For all his might, Sauron feared rebellion. The One Ring was his greatest creation, but also his greatest weakness. It contained so much of his essence that while he wielded it, he was nearly invincible. But without it, his powers were diminished, and his form limited. His obsession with power had made him dependent on the ring. Sauron's terror was not merely of open war, but of quiet defiance. The strength of men, the wisdom of the elves, the stubborn resilience of the dwarves, and the unyielding courage of hobbits. All these represented the unpredictable forces he could not fully subjugate. His greatest fear was unity among those he sought to dominate. Had he reclaimed the ring, Sauron would have ensured that no power, elven or mortal, could ever challenge him again. The world would have bent under his will, and darkness would reign eternal. Yet, deep down, Sauron knew his own greed and arrogance had sown the seeds of his potential downfall. His fear was that even with his overwhelming strength, the free will and courage of the peoples of Middle-earth could still conspire against him. The ring's destruction was his greatest nightmare, the obliteration of his own essence and the complete undoing of his ambitions. So, what was Sauron's ultimate plan if he regained the One Ring? To dominate and reshape all of Middle-earth into a nightmarish realm of submission and death. His conquest was not just about land or power, it was about the total and utter destruction of free will. The true horror of Sauron's plan wasn't just the devastation of Middle-earth, but the complete enslavement of all who dwelled there. Through the power of the ring, Sauron sought to bring about an age of darkness where hope and resistance would be crushed under his merciless dominion. No creature, no kingdom, no soul would be free from his influence. Every land would bend to his will, and every heart would be drowned in despair. And only through the destruction of the One Ring could this dark future be averted. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and like for more videos like this. It's a small click for you, but it means a lot to me. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you on the next one.
One ring to rule them